we're about to talk about a show being picked up.
Yes. So
Ooh.
after a lot of obvious points this was happening, Gotham Knights is officially a go on the CW. The CW has given it a series order, and we don't know how many episodes, at least 13 episodes right now. And but we will see. And maybe and maybe that's a new format. Maybe we're just doing 13 episodes now for shows, and I think that will be
Interesting.
honest. It will honestly be a good thing. And Gotham Knights will. It comes from writers and producers of a Batwoman, and who I'm gonna pull up the because one of them has like the most difficult last names I've ever I've ever seen. So let me see. Let me bring this up. The Gotham, not the Gotham, Gotham Knights is executive produced by James Stodraux, Shad Fiveash, and Natalie Abrams from Batwoman. And it's not related to the video game of the same name, and it's not going to be a Batwoman spinoff. And the synopsis as follows: in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, his rebellious adopted son forges an unlikely alliance with the children of Batman's enemies when they're all framed for killing the White Crusader. And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no darkness to protect, the city descends into its most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected of places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors. And there is no premiere date yet, guys. We will find out next week where it's going to air on the schedule and what time slot it's gonna get. The show it will star Oscar Morgan as Turner Hayes, the son of the Batman. Navia Robinson as Carrie Kelly, Tyler DeSharia as Columbo, Fallon Smythe as Harper Rowe, Olivia Rose Keegan as Duella, Misha Collins as Harvey Dent, Anna Lore as Stephanie Brown, and Robert Adams as Brody. And the pilot was directed by none other than Gotham and Pennyworth director and executive producer Dan Cannon, who is an awesome dude. So I'm excited to see him in the Batman universe again. So, Jordan, you and I have had a long journey, with this show. And how are you? Like, listen, I know that this is coming off of all these cancellations, whatever, and so on. But
Mm-hmm.
are you a little more excited for the show now?
Excited is not the word I'd use. I will say this: I'm not surprised because they got Misha to play Two-Face. Well, Harvey Dent, and
Harvey Dent, can we trust him?
no, but in terms of just the fact that the characters are allowed to use, it kind of here's okay. We'll talk about this more when the Batwoman and Legends thing, but like, okay, so they didn't want to continue those shows yet they did this. Like, it just feels like, because it felt like to me the Arrowverse stuff was done, or they're slowly dropping it all. But then they bring this show in. It's not connected, obviously, to the multiverse thing, but still, it's like I don't know.
You say it's not?
It's not. It's in the multiverse. It's not connected to the other shows in terms of like these characters have appeared previously in a crossover or something, like it's on another Earth. So it's in the multiverse of the Arrowverse, but it's not gonna. I don't see the show connecting to anything like Flash or Superman and Lois. It's not gonna happen. But
I think that's fine though.
yeah,
Like, not everything has to be connected.
I just thought the DC stuff would start. I just thought once we started seeing stuff happen that they would not pick up the show. I honestly thought they weren't going to continue with it. But when they did, I'm like, well, I'm not surprised. They're going to at least give it a shot for as long as they can. My guess is it's probably going to last one season. And then with the CW trying to sell to someone else, it might go to HBO Max if it's worth it. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Now that we know what's coming, we'll get to see what they're doing with it. We'll get to see what they're doing, because for all we knew, it could be crap and they never pick it up. We never get to see it. Now we get to see it. So what is in this pilot that made them go, okay?
So. Well, I think that I sent you something on Facebook that I need to look at while I talk. So here's what I think. I think that it's interesting that to bring these characters to get together. I love Stephanie Brown, so I'm very excited to see her. It's gonna be interesting this new take on Harvey Dent and Duella. So I think that this show has potential. Like I'm a little hesitant too because I also feel very bad that we lost Batwoman and we got this, and but you know, it could be really really bizarre. But it could all, but who knows? Maybe in a year from now, we will sit here and be like, you know what a great idea this was. This was a cool idea. And I
It's possible. It definitely is possible that we'll be wrong and go, okay, yeah, they should have made this show. We'll see.
eh,
I doubt it, but you never
um, did you check it yet?
Check
Go to
what?
go to Facebook Messenger and see what I sent you.
Oh, okay.
Because trust me, it will be worth it. It will be worth it afterwards.
Can I play the clip? Are you saying it 7 seconds?
7 seconds. Don't. I will mute you so they don't hear it. So now you're stuck with a good old me. But what were you saying?
You can play it if you want.
Okay, cool. I will get it then.
Okay. I do want to pause real quick. So Jennifer, another $30 super chat. Jennifer, speaking of Gotham Knights, I'm so mad that they took out PS4. Yes, so the game Gotham Knights is not going to PS4. It's going only to next gen or current gen now because that's what it is.
Let's go back to the CW. Batwoman tomorrow. This was the red wedding for the CW this past yesterday. This past yesterday. So, there was a lot of details that came out from the Hollywood Reporter about why the CW canceled so many shows because this is very unusual. This is very not status quo for them. And we know the sale thing is going on. Warner Discovery definitely has a role in it. No matter what people are saying online. But let's focus on Batwoman and tomorrow for a second, because that's this is the two shows that most of our audience are most focused on, and I'm gonna read from the Hollywood Reporter just so that everyone knows what's being said. And this is from one of the last paragraphs. While the CW expected to look considerably different next season, expect more low-cost foreign acquisition and unscripted programming, the network's most watched original are all returning. The CW gave early news to 7 of its 8 returning shows, all of them among its highest rated. Stories say Petowitz wanted to bring the Greg Bland to produce these comics dramas Batwoman tomorrow, but Warner no longer wanted to pay the lead on the studio space, which expired on April 1st, and prompted April 29 cancellations. Plex Legacies was also said to be a financial decision made by the studio. Legends and Legacies, along with Charmed, In the Dark, and Roswell, New Mexico, all were part of the Netflix output deal. Now the network's 3 new series pickup in Gotham Knights, Walker, Independence, and Supernatural prequel, The Winchesters. All but the 3 of the CW's 11 scripted shows, The Flash, All America, and Riverdale, will all be able to stream on the CW's website and streaming as CW Seed. People are gonna get. I don't know what to say to people that won't piss people off.
It's just very apparent.
Money plays a huge deal in this industry, guys. Sadly,
streaming, Warner Brothers Discovery making decisions because they didn't want to continue the studio lease for the space, and CW wanted to continue. CW wanted those 2 shows, Batwoman and Legends, to continue, so those shows were going to get picked up. But with Warner Brothers not wanting to continue the lease and said, nope, it's going to lapse on May 1st, they're like, all right, well, I guess because there has to be certain things in place for shows to continue, everybody. It's not like they can just do whatever they want. Like if the studio, it's their production, it's their show, and they're like, we're not paying the lease anymore. We're not doing this because Zaslav, he's coming in and using that axe, the axe of Zaslav, as people keep quoting, he's cutting cost. He's making decisions. And the unfortunate part is that these shows were a part of the swinging of that axe and deciding, nope.
And financially just didn't benefit them.
It's
like this. It's like, let's say I gave Jordan $500,000 to make a movie, and then that movie only makes $250,000 back in revenue. That means that I paid him twice as much to make a product that only made half as much. So, I'm gonna bring this up because this is a good point. Do you think the live ratings are now more important than streaming ratings? I think live ratings and ratings have always been just as important. But I think live ratings are not all they're looking at anymore because they like CW is aware that DVR numbers are a factor because appointment television does not exist anymore. People are not like, like when Smallville was on. The reason Smallville was such a huge successful show was because back then there weren't no DVRs, there were no like, other ways to watch. Like if you wanted to watch Smallville, you had to watch live every Tuesday or Wednesday. Or for that show moved times on so many damn times, I'm confused at this point. But you had to watch every week. But now it's like, listen, I'm working a night shift. I don't have time to watch The Flash on Wednesday at 8. You know what? I can watch it tomorrow. I can watch it tomorrow because it's gonna be on the app for free.
Yep.
Then I just have to watch on my computer or my app. So that's the thing. And at the end of the day, Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman, like I've said this before, great shows that I wish could at least, I think Legends should have at least gotten some sort of like 2-hour movie, whatever, and so on. And Batwoman was fine, it's starting to find its own and stride. And but at the end of the day, like if it's cost, like I believe Warner AT&T made a lot of missed calls. They didn't embrace certain things that they should have. They invested into things that wasn't worth it. I mean, look at CNN Plus was a joke. And the moment Warner Discovery merger happened, they Access Labs brought his fans club and just wiped it all away.
Well, it's also a point too, because I want to bring up again Laura's question about the live rating and now streaming. You got to think about the actual thing that you're referring to, like with Batwoman Legends. Was with Mark Pedowitz saying he wanted to renew both shows, which told me that he saw the potential of those shows continuing because it's the live ratings, but ultimately it's the streaming on the CW. They see those numbers. They don't report those numbers. Because CW is a free app. So a lot of people could potentially use it. There's ads on there. So they know what they're getting. In terms of like a streaming show like Peacemaker or something to that effect, is that show bringing in new subscribers? Is that show getting a lot of attention from the subscribers who are currently subscribed? And so it really just depends on what it is. But in terms of this, live ratings are important, but you also got to look at the fact is like the CW has a very specific like approach. Like think on other shows that are currently airing on ABC, NBC. Are they going to a streaming service the next day? I think a lot of them are. But a lot of the services,
Hulu is a big player for ABC.
But Hulu, you have to pay unless you want to watch a lot of ads. I pay to where I don't have to watch ads. But for CW,
isn't Hulu now like included in certain cable deals where like if you have this cable provider, you get
I think so. I think so. But I think also too, it's like CW is in a very different place because their app is free to anybody that can get access to it. You have to watch ads because they keep updating that thing to where you can't get around it with ad blocker. So it really just depends. But like with hearing this information coming out, thankfully, so we have more context to what happened, they wanted to continue it. It was the higher ups, the people who actually produced the content that said nope, because they're going to put that money into other places. They don't want.
I will add this. It's from one of the one trade. So meanwhile, they do have reputable information, so on and so on. This is from one major trade. I don't think Variety or Rap or Deadline have like said similar stuff and so on. So again, they think, oh, this is what we're thinking. I always think that most of the time when trades hear, think that they hear most of the truth, but then there's maybe kind of certain key details that are either changed later on or whatever and so on. But like, and I'm sure Mark Pedowitz is going to talk about this in some capacity next week. But yeah,
And also this too, a lot of people don't watch live TV anymore. That's just how it is. Because a lot of people now,
appointment television is dead.
Yeah, like live television, it's going away slowly over time. And I think that like with more and more people dropping off, it changes the whole landscape because with ABC, NBC, CBS, all these places,
Fox,
yeah, they're going to have to literally find different ways to figure out if a show is actually worth creating because the live ratings are going to get to the point where it's not because CW had a very different like live ratings years ago, but over time, less people are watching, and it's affecting all the shows. Like there isn't that many people anymore watching live television. They're getting Netflix, they're getting the streaming services. They're not watching cable because a lot of those shows, once they air, they go somewhere soon after. So unless you're very keen on watching something live, then you don't have cable. So yeah, I watch the CW app. See, just what it is.
But
Yeah.
if you want these shows to happen, try to record them at least on your DVR, or like try to watch them live and so on, because enjoy these shows while you still can. But like it is saying that as much as we love these shows, we can't get too mad at these studios now, or if they decide to cancel, because if people aren't watching them the way that they are trying to do it in their landscape, then that's just the way it is. I'm
Yeah.
Again, still sucks that so many people lose their jobs with it and so on. But like if you want to see a Star Wars season 4, go watch Star Girl season 3 when it premieres later this year. Like watch it, like try and make time for it and so on. And also, like, how busy are some of us really at 8 p.m. these days? Like, come on, y'all.
Oh, quick question before we jump into the last topic. Stargirl, they don't have to make an announcement by Thursday for that show, right? Or do they have to?
And I'm for what?
Like for the next season, or
they're not gonna announce next season 4 next week. They're not gonna announce any cancellation. It would be.
Well, I'm just wondering because there was like some shows that haven't even aired yet, and they've already canceled those shows before their last season airs.
Well, one,
wondering.
Stargirl is a little bit newer. Stargirl, it also came in a little differently than some of the other shows, but also it's a DC property. And at this point, because we had heard report that initially what was going to happen was that Flash and Superman had already renewed, but what they were expecting to do is to bring back at least 2 more DC shows, and that was including Gotham Knight. But now both Batwoman, Tomorrow, and Naomi have been canceled. That other slot could theoretically go to Stargirl. Unless they're already going to develop a new DC show for the next pilot season. But we're not going to hear anything about pilot season for the next season until this fall. So, so no, they don't have to. They don't have to give us any news about Stargirl season 4 at all, because unless there is another situation with there's studio space again in Atlanta, they have to decide if they want to pay for it or not. But again, CW already has an establishing production relationship with Atlanta, so I think they're good. Plus, because they also now canceled Legacies that I think was in Atlanta, that frees them some money. So, I would be very shocked if we heard about something beyond Stargirl season 3 next week. I'm hoping we get a premiere date though. I think that's
I think they'll announce a premiere date.